Hello friends, welcome back to a tournament report, and this one is from my tournament. So exciting! It's the Birmingham Bullrun. This is the 5th Birmingham Bullrun. We've taken a break for a couple of years, or a year or so, because I was busy organising Clash of Kings and doing stuff. But it turns out I have a short attention span, so we're back! And we're at a brand new exciting venue. If you hang around till Game 3, I'll show you some pictures of the exciting venue. It was a very cool art gallery that we found in the centre of Birmingham, here in the Birmingham. That's not how you say it, Birmingham, here in the UK, where I live. And it was very cool, little art gallery. And it had like a bar and stuff, and yeah, it was very exciting. So it's called the Iron Bull. It was designed 1995 points. It was designed as kind of a newbie-friendly tournament. We had quite a few newer players here in the Midlands of the UK. Unfortunately, because I realised I could now support quite a lot of tables. We had 36 spots, and that being quite a large tournament, it attracted quite a lot. Most of the top 20 came. So I'd say we had maybe 10 proper baby killers sign up, and then like 26, a mixture of normal and newer players. So normally when I run the bull run, because you put on the tournament that you want to play at, right? I would have a special character, and I would have, crazy scenarios that I've written and things. But because I was like, okay, well, let's make this a bit more newbie friendly. We had much more. No special rules, very gentle. We did have command dice because I do like command dice. But apart from that, we had nothing special and exciting in terms of rule sets. So yeah. Anyway, so I put this tournament on so I could play. So I was playing in this tournament. Otherwise, it would be a very short battle report, wouldn't it, if I wasn't playing? And I was playing my Twilight Kin, so at 1995 points, a very much pared down version of my list. This is what I had. So I had 2 mutants, could not afford any waiver mitigation items, which may or may not come back to bite me. Double Phantom Troop, so double mutant, double Phantom, double Impaler. So my list of 2s, 2, very much the same as my 2300 list. Still got the Mind Screech in there. So I was also to just say what these units do a little bit. If you Void Touch mutants, they kill everything they touch, lots and lots of attacks. Very fast, speed 7 with Wild Charge D3. They've got all the rules, Elite, Strider, Thunder 2. But they are a 14, 17 nerve, which means that as soon as they get hit, they waver and they lose their Thunderous and they're not very good anymore. So, fire and forget missiles. Need protecting. We've got 2 Phantoms, really, really fantastic chaff. Like Gargoyles, flying chaff, but dash 12, so they can't get wavered. Fantastic. Impalers, defense 6 from the front with their big shield rule. Not shabby in combat, and although they're only speed 5, they can charge up to 13, which does surprise some people. Same cost as mutants. So then we have the Mind Screech with the Planar Apparition Healy version. So it's a healing Mind Screech to really sit behind those Impalers and keep them alive. It also has Mind Fog, just in case you want to try and get something off in the first turn. A single Terror. 2 Terrors is better, but we have 1. So Terror is just fantastic for dealing with infantry, cavalry, with 12 attacks, and a Rampage 8, which is delicious. Also ensnaring for the front and regen, so very difficult to kill. 18, 19 nerve, very expensive. We've got a Navigator with a loot. I have missed having the loot in my previous list, so it's great to get Bane Chant back in the list because quite a lot of it is Thunderous Charge or Crush 1. But the Terror is Crush 1. Impalers are Crush 1. So really, there's not a lot that does need damage. So that Bane Chant becomes very, very important. We have a single Summoner Crone with Weakness and Hex, which is my favourite combo. I have paid for the Edge Periscope, which means that when the Summoner Crone casts, it is 1 height higher. However, I do forget that for the entire tournament, so it's entirely irrelevant. But it is there. There you go. And then 2 Soul Banes on Nightmare, like Mini Mikhails. They've speed 8. They come with Dread, which is just so fantastic. 6 attacks is not shabby. 14, 16, and inspiring. And they're really the reason I haven't taken any or don't need to take any extra command dice, because the commands for Twilight Kin really, the only really good, there's 2, right? So one is about taking wounds off a Twilight Elf and putting it on a Crone-bound unit. I haven't got many Crone-bound units. I haven't got any Twilight Elves either, to be honest. So that one's useless. And the other one was to give a unit Dread. And these guys come with Dread. 2 of them. I can put it wherever I like. Speed 8, so I don't really need a lot of command dice. But just get our wound back every now and then. So 12 units, 19 unit strength. It's okay. higher points value, so it's more rewarding, I think, for this version of Twilight Kin. It's a little bit grindy, a little bit hitty. Let's see how we go. So my first game is against lovely Heath. I am a big fan of Heath, good friend. And look, I found a piece of Empire of Dust background art from a Mantic book. But it was the wrong orientation, and I zoomed it in and it looks really blocky. And plus, I put stuff all over it, you can't see anything. So I really wish I hadn't. Anyway, Heath was playing Empire of Dust, as you can see. Or not see. Heath's a very, very, very nice man. Lives not too far from me, really. Very good hobbyist. So ended up winning Best Painted. Spoiler warning. So he has got a lot of scout. So he's got 2 troops in a regiment of skeleton warriors. Basic skeletons. So Casket of the Damned for Empire of Dust just gives them scout now. Which I think is fantastically annoying. Ha! So he's got two troops in a regiment, and he's got 3 hordes of revenants, which is really the core of this army. There's not a lot to this army that isn't 3 hordes of revenants, right? They're dash 24, 25 attacks. They only hit on 4s normally, but skipping ahead right down to the kind of this is a Ra's army. You think, what's a Ra's army? So you get the special character. So Ammonite Pharaoh on Royal Chariot, but you upgrade him with Raz the Undying. It's 40 points. He's going in Mind Fog, which I think is cute. Raz the Undying can, at the point of his movement, give a single unit, skeleton unit, within 6 inches his melee stat. So his melee 3+ stat. Which is very, very good if you happen to have 25 attacks like these Revenants. So yeah, that's very good. He's got a Soul Snare for Drain Life 9, very annoying. 2 Undead Worms. I like an Undead Worm. I think they're very good. They are only melee 4 or 10 attacks, but they fly. Plus, one of the rules for Empire of Dust is you can unshamble one of your units, so they can fly 20 in turn because they are nimble. So yeah, very, very good. Crush 3. He's got a Standard Bearer with the loot, right, for Bane Chant, but this Standard Bearer has an aura of Strider for infantry owners. You can see how the list starts to work now, right? So you can have a horde of Revenants, can just wander through a wood, won't even care because of the Strider aura, and then it will hit on 3s. Nasty. And then he's got 2 High Priests. So one's got Crown of the Wizard King. Oh, I think Crown of the Wizard King allows you to cast... no, it's an extra 3 inches, I think, on the spell. Possibly, anyway. Heal and Surge. He's got an extra blue command dice on the second Hurst High Priest, who's got Tome of Darkness. So he's got Surge 5 and Heal 5. So he's not he's not taken the Surge spell. He's taken the Tome of Darkness for Surge 5. That's an interesting choice, isn't it? Because Surge 8 is 30 points and the Tome of Darkness is 20 points. It saves 10 points. Yeah, anyway. And lots of heals. So basically, any wounds you do, they're going to come off, aren't they? So yeah, 13 units, 21 unit strength. Let's have a go. So we're on this lovely mat. I'm going to be very complimentary about the terrain because it's mine. You can see what we have. So we have a couple of hills here. One hill, one here. These are height 3. We've got blocking terrain here. We're calling them both height 9, even though they're patently not. But we are just for simplicity. Again, simplicity. For newer players, of which there aren't many. 2 height 9 forests. Then we have 2 height flat difficult terrains here. Height flat or height 0? I might have said height 0. Again, it doesn't come up. We've not got any shooting in either list. And then 2 height 2 walls here. One jutting out into the ocean here. And we are playing Compass Points. So Compass Points is a scenario where, as you can see, the orange markers, these are the objectives at the end of the game. So the marker opposite you is worth 3, the one on your side is worth 2, and each one of these ones on the sides, the east and west, if you like, are worth 1. Right, so north is 3, south is 2. There you go. Compass Points. You can see that he's scrolled on the back of his units. That's not the bit that won him Best Painted. This is the see, it's very nice. It had a display board with it too. So we deployed Dusty. So I would have preferred, I think, to do a toilet bowl against this army rather than just face off against it. But as we started deploying, so he chose sides. He chose this side to split me around this piece of blocking terrain here, which works quite well. I wasn't wildly bothered by it because there's a nice hill here that I can just run up onto. And then I slightly misdeployed, so I was bothered slightly more. So what we have, I have a unit of phantoms down there. You'll probably see them in a minute, actually, because I'm going to show you some close-ups. But and I've split my force really to allow him to push forward. He's going to push forward really hard because of the scout, right? So he's going to be about here before the turn 1. So I've got to be able to allow that to break. So I've got my Terror here with one of the Impalers, supported by a Soulbane, with my healing Mind Screech here, and this is the Navigator. And on the other side, I really didn't deploy very well. So these are the other phantoms, and they could have been further over. You can see I didn't quite fit what I wanted to fit. So I've got my Impalers and a mutant. Right, where much nicer if the mutants were flat together, so they can then come up on the hill together to look out. As it is, this one is going to be constantly stuck. Anyway, here's another Soulbane and Nightmare, and here's the Summoner Crone. Summoner Crone also wants to get onto the hill. Everyone wants to get onto this tiny hill and start casting away. On Heath's side, very simple army. So we have these skeleton warriors, I believe. 1, 2, 3 hordes of revenants. Yeah, 2 troops of skeletons. This would be the Soul Snare. It's one of the that's Standard Bearer, sorry. And you can see you have the Bone Dragons, and behind these big units somewhere is Raz and the priests. So here's pretty simple strategy. Oh, here we go. There's some close. Very, very nice army. Very, very pleasant. Very cool. Someone's been playing with a texture roller, as you can see. And why not? Very, very nice colour scheme. Do enjoy that. And here's my shambolic offering. See, I've managed to. I put these little wound trays there. I've been playing now for a little while with putting a wound tray behind every single unit to act as a marker. So I'm big on marking your units. And I've started to use these wound trays to mark them, and it's working really well. There you go. That's all my shambolic offering. And there's those lonely little phantoms down the other end. And you can see some art here. There's a nice, isn't it, on the wall there. Yeah. So that's Scout. There you go. That's what happens with these scouting armies. Ba-bam! They're in your face immediately, even before turn 1, right up in your grill. So Scout. All the skeletons scouting as well. Everyone's coming up, so that's good. And Heath wins turn 1. So there you go. Straight away, he doesn't actually move too much. So what he does move is he just kind of moves the dragons up. So 1 dragon to here. And then 1 dragon over to here. He's mindful I've got this 20-inch charge, and I could very easily lock this dragon down with some phantoms. It's probably not going to kill him too quickly. Because it's only melee 4, right? Although Raz could come over and waste himself on phantoms. Please do. So there is a Soul Snare there, which has moved up and is drain lifing, I think. Am I regenerating Terror, which I was delighted at. I thought, please continue to do that. So into my turn 1. So what do? We take this is at the beginning of the turn. So obviously I'm faced with all these fair things I could already probably charge, but I just need to get onto this hill. They're all super slow. The only thing I'm really worried about range-wise is this dragon. This dragon's facing this way. These dragons, because they are pretty fast, pretty speedy, but there's a great big wood here blocking this one. And if a dragon charges into the front of these guys, honestly, good. So we go quite aggressively. So these phantoms, we're still here, just move and sit onto this token. I could sit there for the rest of the game, but probably won't. And then, so these phantoms go way off. Now, this, if you're familiar with my game, is something that I like to do. It's not something that's wildly intelligent to do against the Surge army. And I think, thinking about this, and it's very tempting to do this. Essentially, I know that he can just turn his Bone Dragon and come this way with Raz's support and just surge in, right? And I'm not upset about that. Phantoms aren't that expensive. They are a distraction. What it does is it takes the big scary piece out of the game for 1 to 2 turns, allowing me to push forward a bit harder. That's my thought process, isn't it? I'm trying to get the curve going on here so I can get some combi charges off. And you can see my dice for this is my heal roll, I believe. So I've regened a wound or two, and then I've healed the rest, so all those wounds are gone. Yeah, you can see where I've come from with my little tray. So at the end of the turn, I then move them up in my opponent's turn. So there we go, that's the heal. All healed away, nice, into Heath's turn 2. So yeah, he sees my phantom, says, alright, well, you're going to get surged, you get surged, you get surged. I think he's re-rolling a hit here, so this is the dragon doesn't quite fit in front of our model, so that's why it's a base. And nothing else has really moved over much. Very, very cautious play from Heath. He does get his surge off, so there's one of the priests. So now he's going to do 10 attacks, melee 3, right? 3s and 2s, so that's scarier. And then this is some more drain life going on. That's fine. So yeah, phantoms do die, so that's rather quicker than I'd hoped. But he does commit Raz to it. I was thinking, well, that probably wasn't a great move of me then, so I'm going to need to do something a little cleverer because now I've lost one of my more manipulatable pieces. So this is what we do. We come in a little bit harder. So I'm just tempting fate. So I noticed that he's put the troop of skeletons right slap bang in front of the horde. That's difficult. That's difficult positioning because if I can not kill the troop, I can really lock up this side. So I send my Soulbane into the troop. Soulbane's going to be hindered. He's going to do 6 attacks on 4s. 4s and 2s, right? So against this dash 11 unit, that's not likely to kill. And then behind that, I've got some phantoms, which I've popped up, just kind of have a look, because they're not shabby in the flank. And I've got my Impalers and my Terror here to kind of follow up. So if I'm lucky, I can really punch hard here. I'm tempting the dragon to charge these guys. You know, please do. Please charge these guys. Because then they're going to die. So you see here, although she's having a lie down here, the Summoner Crone is on the hill. I managed to get things up again because I mispositioned quite badly. I think these guys could have been further over, and I could have given myself some more room. I didn't. I am conscious this guy can fly over, so I have got my Soulbane looking out this way. So rear guard cover, and these guys just have to be, second wave, pretty much. That's a hex. So we hex the soul snare, so it can stop draining me. Thanks very much. And then we healed up the Soulbane. Delightful 2 wounds, exactly what I wanted. Didn't kill him, and now they're all stuck. So into Celebrity Shoe. Into Heath's turn 3. So the game's going very quickly, and there's not a lot is happening. So this is how he's looking on his turn 3. So again, a cautious turn, really. There's not a lot that's gonna. He's bought basically. He's taken a turn to bring Raz over this way, and what he's thinking, quite rightly, is I've not even started to make any impression on all this nerve. He could just outlast me, right? So he's just kind of he's saying, you're going to have to go first, and I'm going to respond. So I'm looking at it thinking, well, I'm going to have to try and kill something. He's done some really nice positioning with his angles here, so I can't get more than 1 unit into any one thing. There is a slight gap here, so I could get more than 1 unit into this horde. We have still got a dragon. This dragon is here. This dragon is here. They got big wings. But yeah, that's what's happening. So that is... Oh, that's maybe command dice, healing it down. Yeah. And then with the soul snare, he chooses to drain. So you can see he's given himself 11 wounds. So he did 5 successful drain lives. And I was thinking, I'm going to kill your soul snare then. But of course, he has got heal 10. Just lying in the wings, so he's going to try and heal as much of that off as possible. There you go. But immediately healed 6 of those 5 wounds back off again, so nice move. Soulbane's up to 2 wounds, he's feeling fine, and now it's my turn 3. So really now, looking at this, I can't afford to let he have another turn just shimmy shammering around and just sitting there as an implacable block. I have to go in. I've got some pieces. I would really like to have both mutants ready to go in at this point. But obviously I did have tapped onto the hill there. But I'm going to need to do something now, right? So off we go. So I do manage to get both of them in, just not to the same target, which is unfortunate. But, this is... I need to pull the trigger. Everything needs to go. So in order-ish, Let's try and work out what we did. So we can see this skeleton unit with this unit and the side here. Yeah, so they need to die. So the mutants come in real hard with a Soulbane behind them for Dread here. I've messed up my inspiring. One of the things that really annoyed me. So this dragon, I spent a lot of time and worked out. It's just really annoying to have two dragons. If you look at their line of sight, now this one is blocked by this Terror, which is slightly okay, but it means there's a very narrow arc of sight there. Whereas this one can see whatever it likes over here for 20 inches, right? So this Summoner Crone really needed to be over here, right? But couldn't get to a place where it was out of danger. So from here, I couldn't get to a place where I couldn't be charged. So in the end, reluctantly, I popped her behind the woods because it's the safest place for her to be, and I do need her. But that means that all these units are not inspired. This one might tap inspiring here, but in general, these guys are not inspired, so that's not good. Anyway, so mutants came in here, Soulbane for Dread support to make sure they die. We took a front and a flank on these skeletons, same reason. So this is really, I just need to clear things. We're clearing this chaff. These guys will back, these guys will turn to present their front, because these guys will not be able to flank because they had a Terror into them. This was really, I tried to do some maths and thinking about what could I do. The best I could do, the Soulbane's going to carry on playing here. I've got Phantoms in the flank and Impalers in the front. These guys do not die to this, right? They just, in fact, nothing dies apart from this and this, on mathematically speaking. These guys won't, these guys won't. And that's very difficult to me, so I need to be able to counterpunch because I'm going to have a dragon being very manoeuvrable next turn. So, anyway, there we go. So let's see how we go. That is my weakness. Spectacular work there. Failed utterly. It's me complaining about dice again. I put a Bane Chant onto the Impalers, into these Revenants. I'm re-rolling a hit there. Yeah, first off, Soulbane does finally kill those Skeleton Warriors. Good boy. Well done. Oh, that was the weakness to go onto this thing. Yeah, Soul Snare. So we do kill the Skeleton Troop, which is great. We also kill the Regiment and the other troops. So, you know, the things that we're likely to kill, we kill, which is, you know, super. So we've got the Bone Dragon is going to be a problem, but really you see how I've reformed with these units? All I've given it to charge is a regiment of mutants and a horde of Impalers, right? And realistically, I mean, they can double charge the horde of Impalers here, but the only unit this horde can charge pretty much is the Impalers, and they're not going to like that. They haven't got any crushing. Nothing else dies. So what else do we do? How many wounds do we do? We had 6 wounds total, which is very poor, isn't it? This horde. That's 18 attacks on 3s and 2s. And 24 attacks on 5s and 4s. 3s and 3s? 3s and 3s. So 6 wounds is poor. Complaining about dice. 4 wounds for the Terror. Yeah. Wasn't a great turn dice-wise, but it's what it is. So here's turn 4 for Heath. Oh, there you go. I was complaining a lot, but it turns out it was 12 wounds, which is a lot more than 6. It's 6 more, in fact. So I'll take it back. So off he goes. So, yeah, that's pretty much what you'd expect. So, unfortunately, what I really should have thinking is now, what was I thinking? With this Soulbane, I've sidestepped him. I really should have run him forward. Why did I not run him forward? Wow, well, there's a learning point for us. Because what I've allowed him to do is to flank my Impaler horde with his Revenant horde. So silly and unnecessary. If I just run forward to it, rolled a 2, I would have prevented that, and he wouldn't have been able to do it. Silly me. Yeah, so I've mugged myself there. So the dragon has jumped over and charged my planar apparition. And then the horde's coming to the side here, and Vraz has joined in as well on that. Counter charge here, charge here, and the Bone Dragon has done the thing, which is basically nimble fly to here, 1-inch surge into flank of them. That's what's going to happen, which is both mean and well played. That is a drain life over the back of that unit. And then that's just looking at maybe a healed off something thing. Yeah, this is all the healing that's going on. So these guys down to 7 wounds. And there you go. So into the flank. 9 wounds from the Bone Dragon. Only a waver. But that's what happens to those guys. They just waver and they just die. Right? I have got a Soul Bane here, but I think it's going to be a front rather than a flank. Let's see how that goes. 1 wound onto these guys from these Revenants is very, very poor. Whoa. It's very, very poor. But that's what you get for being hindered. Into a defense 6. And then, yeah, the Terror died. Absolutely unprecedented. Really distressed by that, frankly. I can't understand how they did that. So I think Raz gave them his melee value. So they were moving off 24 attacks, 25 attacks on 4s and 4s. But yeah, he rolled spectacularly well and killed it. So that was distressing, wasn't it? And also my Horde of Impalers died because of the error I made on the reform. So yeah, not a great turn on this side. And a waver on my Planar Apparition there. So he's really ripped the heart out of my army. And now I'm in a very, very dangerous place. So that's not good, is it? So what do I do in response? So I run my little Summoner Crone out behind the Planar Apparition to hide, like the coward that I am. Yes, it's turn 4, thank you. And this is how you respond. So the Phantoms, which were over here, can see Raz, and so they run over and they fly over and flank him. The Soulbane then takes this front here to really lock these guys down. They're on 7 wounds. There is a lot of wounds kind of retribution, but over a couple of turns he should be able to chew them down. So the mutants that were behind that were here, there's enough room for them to turn and come into the front of these guys, hopefully take them out as well. Rather than hit this Bone Dragon, which I really wanted to, you see, I put my Summoner Crone up on a hill to tempt it to come into me. I'm not sure if it will, but I turn my mutants around just to face, saying, go on, you have to spend a turn killing me. I'm going to flank and front this horde. Okay, so a lot of attacks going into hordes, apart from over here. And then we kind of ignore this dragon for now. Oh, what was she doing? She's run off somewhere else. Okay. Oh, she's run here to tempt him. Hang on. This is the Navigator. This is a Crone. Right. Okay. So the Navigator says, go on then, Raz. You can charge me because you won't kill me in 1. I gambled on that. Let's see if it works. I really don't know why I've got a thing there. He was wavered. Not sure what's happening. So, that is, what's that showing? Oh, I've killed it! Oh, hello! Planar Apparition is gone. So that's what's happened. My Crone has run up and tried to redeem herself from the hill. She shot some attacks, a weakness or something off at this. Probably a weakness with an extra dice, I think. Maybe. And I've killed the Planar Apparition. I mean, the Soul Snare, so that was delightful. Really, really happy about that. And then the rest of the turn went absolutely appallingly, and I just didn't kill anything. So, massive amounts of wounds onto everything. So these guys, it was only 4 with a massive amount of wounds. 4 wounds, so they're up to 11, but they're okay. 3 wounds here, he's fine. We're up to 13 wounds from these mutants into these guys, which is, I mean, not perfect, is it? We had 6 wounds. So 7 wounds total. 7 wounds off of 20 attacks on 3s with elite. And then 3s again. I don't think that's under. Anyway, doesn't matter. I didn't kill them. And even worse, the front and flank here only did 10 wounds onto these guys. So, really, really unsuccessful in the centre. So these giant blocks of nerve, which is what Heath's army requires to survive, I just can't seem to chew through them. Celebrity shoes! And then we're into turn 5 for Heath, so it's looking a bit desperate for me now. I can't break the centre of his army. He's torn the middle out of mine. I've done an okay job coming back, but it's still not proving quite enough. So countercharge here, recharging here. He takes the bait into my Crone. I don't think he'll kill him, and I can recharge him. Let's see. Countercharge, and a fresh charge here. So off we crack. So 3 wounds into my Soulbane, which is so these guys have not got the secret sauce that those guys had to kill my Terror. He's fine. He's doing great. He's loving life. The planar apparition there has died though, and he's measuring for that dragon to kind of wander forward in a happy way onto this 3-point token. So there you go. So Raz has messed it up against my navigator, which is what I'd hoped. What's more, a very, very poor turn against these mutants here. Only 6 wounds, so that's kind of more what you'd expect from melee 4, I think. So 20 attacks, 4, so yeah, okay, just slightly under, but more normal. However, I have no thunderous charge now, so that's poor. And 1 wound. Still 1 wound onto these guys. Unfortunately, the mutants do die, so now I've got a dragon in my rear. So that's not pleasant. So these guys have to die now so I can turn and face this dragon. Otherwise, we have problems. I think it was 2 wounds. 2 wounds. A pathetic 2 wounds. Defense 6 is good. Who knew? Into my turn 5. So I think we weaken this. The dragon, we do. For 2 points. Soulbane keeps hacking away at this unit. So it's to 15 wounds now. Still can't. So you still need a 9 to get rid of it. With Dread an 8. So I couldn't roll the 8 that I needed to get rid of them. We do finally clear off 2 hordes in a single turn, which is spectacular work. You know, it's taken a long time. These 2 poor little bone priests, whatever they're called, looking very, very distressed now. There's 3 of them. One's a standard bearer, that's right. Or which one's a standard bearer? I don't know. So I take the flank and front to get rid of them. I'm not convinced by that. I think this regiment of mutants would have killed them on their own. I think I should have taken the rear charge onto Raz. So you can see how I've taken the flank. Just because I just needed to be sure they were going to die. They were on, how many wounds were they on? They were only on 7 wounds, see, after all the healing. That's why. And I think I looked at that 7 wounds and thought, I'm not going to finish them off with just mutants and no crushing. Especially since my Bane Chanter has been unbane chanted, right? I need both units. So Raz, that delicious rear charge on Raz has been left. Navigator's run off. I was really hoping this unit would die as well. Unfortunately not. And then I've reformed to face, essentially to face the dragon. I'm not sure that was the right choice again. I think I've boo-booed here. Because if I'd have turned... I think it's because of the order I did the combats in. I did kill this horde, but I wasn't confident I was going to. If I'd have done that one first, turned these guys to face, then once I did this combat, I could have turned these guys that way to face off some of these more delicious targets over here. And the dragon wouldn't be able to charge me because there's not enough room. So that was an error. And then turn 6 for Heath. He kills my Soulbane finally with this horde, which is exactly why I needed these guys facing this way. So that was very, very poor of me. And the Bone Dragon jumps all the way over to attack the Phantoms, which were kind of the best target for them. And he kills them. So this dragon is eating Phantoms all day and all night. This Burgundy Dragon's wandered off here. Raz turned this way, right? So if we think about where the tokens are in this game, because this is the center of the board. So we've got 1 here. That one's just out, right? There is 1 here by this Bone Dragon. There's 1 under this unit here. So it's 4 unit strength hitting on it. Plus he's got 2 more. So this is he's turn 6. And because I turned everything this way, I'm facing the wrong way. So I've really done myself an immense disservice in the final turn. So my turn 6, I turn like this. I move my Impalers this way onto this token. If there is a turn 7, he can rear charge them, but then that's good because it gives me time. I turn these guys around this way. Almost tempting his dragon to the flank of them. And I've brought my Soulbane this way, so the Soulbane wants to come over and charge these guys to take the token on turn 7. But even then I think Raz could come up. So yeah, I've unfortunately snatched defeat from the jaws of victory here. I think if I'd have been clever with my reform, I would have had on my turn 6, these mutants would have been facing the right way. All right, and then I could have done some much nastier charges. So I could have come into this unit or something. Or even better, I could have come down here and just defended against this, right? And then I would have, he would have got 2, and I would have got 3, and I would have won. I was assuming I can kill a dragon in one go, but you never know. Maybe a bit of weakness on top of it as well. I probably could have done. So sad times for me. But that's the end of the game, and we didn't get a turn 7, unfortunately. Which means that Heath won because Heath got 2 for this one, 3 for this one, and I got 1. So 5-1 at the end of game 1. Very well played to Heath, and very, very carefully played. And you can see he has timed out. He has timed out, so he wouldn't have been able to do anything in that final turn. I said I have 5 minutes left on my clock. He did spend a lot of time adjusting his position, justifiably as it turns out. These very, very durable units, very, very hard to kill. So anyway, great game, super game against Heath. Really enjoyed it. And that's the end of my game 1. So on to game 2, and you think, well, you've had a crushing defeat in your first game. Surely your second game is easy. Nope. Nope. One of the better players in the UK for my game 2 as well. Had an unfortunate game 1. We're testing out the Clash of Kings scoring system, aka Bart Shroud, which was no one complained. Seemed to go down very well. It's like a better Northern Kings, so they're really excited about that. I'll talk about that at the end as well, if you like. So to keep you coming back. But yeah, that's the end of my first game. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you very soon for game 2. Toodaloo.